Hello there, Star Wars fans, and welcome to another RebelScum.com video review. Today, we are reviewing the Star Wars Black Series Heir to the Empire comic pack featuring Luke Skywalker and the ysalamiri, or ysalamiri, however you want to pronounce it. Those are the two most prominent pronunciations of that lizard that I know of, and I prefer ysalamiri. I just think that sounds a little bit better, but to each his own. And honestly, when it comes to this comic pack, that's really the go-getter here. While the Luke figure is cool, really what fans were excited about was the lizard. And the reason we're excited about that lizard is because it's going to go on the shoulders of one of the greatest Star Wars characters of all time, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, this is still a very cool comic pack. And if you don't have this Luke, or you're just a Luke fanatic and you just have to have all the Luke Skywalker figures ever, this is an awesome Luke figure, but it could be better. But we'll get right into that. Look at the awesome artwork here on the front. You've got the issue 1 artwork of Star Wars Heir to the Empire, the comic book adaptation of the novel. It looks really, really cool. I really do love that they use that same original artwork just like they have on the rest of these comic packs. And I really love that Hasbro's been bringing back these comic packs. I know they don't come with comic books like the 3 3/4 scale release of comic packs, but honestly, I'm just as satisfied with these. I love that they just took the time to put them in this cool book-like packaging and put the classic comic book cover art there on the front. And the fact that they're starting to do comic books and comic book characters are really cool too. You've got Luke and ysalamiri on the side there. You've got some cool comic art on the side panels. The Lucas 50th timeline there on the back of it. And that's pretty much it for the outside of the packaging. Now for the inside. So on that inner flap, you've got Luke Skywalker with a brief bio there. And I appreciate that they included that, but if you're a Star Wars fan and you don't know who Luke Skywalker is at this point, I don't know. I don't know what to say there. But what's also cool is they have a little bio there for the ysalamiri. There they are in the bubble. You can see them. There's Luke standing prominently. There's the ysalamiri there up to the side, and of course his lightsaber. So as far as accessories, really you just have the lightsaber because they're packaged as two separate things. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. So let's go ahead and get these figures out here, shall we? Pretty simple. They're just sitting there in the bubble. There's the ysalamiri. And here's the Luke. And this Luke isn't very exciting. It's just a repaint, a solid repaint of the Dagobah Luke action figure. And they may have changed the face a little bit. So there's the Dagobah Luke figure. And here is the comic pack Luke figure. As you can see, they're very similar. There are some slight paint differences, one being this one's wearing a black outfit and the other one's wearing a beige outfit, but that's really the only differences. That's really it. It looks like... Oh, no, they used the same face sculpt too. Yeah. Yep, so it's just the paint. The only difference is paint. That's it. Same mold. Same exact mold. They just changed the paint a little bit. And I'm not going to be a stickler about that. Not in this case, because it's still a very cool comic pack. I mean, when you look at the side panel art there, that's the outfit he's wearing right here. He's just wearing, it looks like he's wearing black, and he's got his tank top on. Granted, I don't think these are quite the same pants. It looks like... Oh, no, it just looks like a shine. I thought maybe there's a stripe there. I would have liked had maybe they gone with the outfit depicted here on this artwork a little bit more. That's just me. I like that he somewhat matches the cover art. I think that's pretty cool. Honestly, because they're also in the third and final chapter, which is The Last Command, I personally I would have think it would have been a little bit cooler to get away from just a plain Luke. While Luke is one of the greatest Star Wars characters of all time, I really personally think they could have gotten a little bit more mileage out of this figure release and a little bit more excitement out of this figure release, aside from the excitement of this little guy, if they had simply added another U to the name. And I'm talking about the clone that he fights at the end of The Last Command, Luke, as he is called. And I feel like they could have simply achieved this had they just used the body mold of the Plo Koon figure, put some Luke hands in place of the Plo Koon hands, of course, and put a Luke head on there in place of, well, the Plo Koon head. The based off of the comic book art, the color scheme of Plo Koon's robes is similar enough to the ones that Luke is wearing at the final chapter of that book. And if they wanted to include his larger cloak, probably the Luke figure from Last Jedi's cloak would have probably been decent enough. I know it doesn't have sleeves, but I think if they had repackaged that, I think it would have been passable to fans, because it's almost like a grayish blue color the way it's inked in the comics. So I think a Luke would have been a little bit more on the nose for fans. Maybe Hasbro was worried that people wouldn't know what that is, or maybe they were worried they would catch flack for adding an extra U, thinking that isn't a separate character, and I get that. That's probably why they didn't go with that in the first place. But fans still were not upset, but were hoping for something other than Luke Skywalker. For example, a lot of fans would have preferred maybe if they had done Mara Jade from Heir to the Empire. That would have been a very exciting figure to get. That would have had an incredible amount of value for fans everywhere had they done Mara Jade. And maybe there's a Mara Jade in the works in a future Heir to the Empire comic pack that we don't know about. And that's kind of exciting, because now Hasbro has creaked open the door just a little bit for us Star Wars fans who love these Legends comics and love these characters. And hopefully that's the starting point for that. I've also seen people say, well, what about Talon Card? Talon Card would have been really cool. And I agree, Talon Card would have been incredible to get in this comic pack. But the fact of the matter is we got a new Luke figure, and this Luke figure is a very cool figure. He is fully articulated. He has the same articulation as the Dagobah Luke because he's the same figure. Head's on a ball joint. There's also a neck ball joint down here where the neck meets the torso. He's got full shoulders. He's got those new single elbow joints, those really nice deep elbow joints, wrist joints, upper waist, hips, upper thigh, single jointed knees, ankle joints, and he looks pretty cool with his lightsaber. Here's his. I like that they got the lightsaber correct. This is actually the only version of this figure, and I say that there's only two versions of Luke from the Heir to the Empire as far as the toys are concerned. He got a 3 3/4 scale comic pack figure, and that did not come with the correct lightsaber. So I appreciate for the Black Series release they did give him the correct lightsaber, because he does still have the same lightsaber that he constructed for himself as it first appeared in Return of the Jedi. It does have a removable blade, like most Black Series lightsabers do. It is pretty simple, but that's enough about Luke. Now it's time to get in about this little guy right here, the ysalamiri. I am so happy that they did this thing. It was a shame that he didn't come initially with the Black Series Thrawn release in the number 47, or even at minimum with the Thrawn from the San Diego Comic-Con release. And I simply think that's because Star Wars canon was getting away from the ysalamiri. I've heard even George Lucas himself didn't like these creatures, and that's from the mouth of the writer of these creatures and these awesome books, Timothy Zahn, because from what he said, Lucas didn't like the idea of something that could repel the Force. The Force is supposed to be the most powerful thing in the universe, rather, and something that could simply block it or avoid it, he just didn't like the idea of that, supposedly. So, since they weren't brought into canon, since they are technically not canon, I think that's why Hasbro waited until, I guess, this point in this specific packaging to release such a thing. It's very cool. I love the little detail they did on his little face. He's got his little eyes there. He's got 4 little eyes. He doesn't have any articulation. He's just in this curved position for where he sits on Thrawn's shoulders. And he looks awesome. And then, of course, we do have here with us a Black Series Grand Admiral Thrawn figure. And this is the 47 release, which is very similar to the archive. And you can just put him on his master's shoulders. Oh, there is, you do want to get him around the collar in a certain spot, and he'll sit, as you can see, nice and tight. Not too tight to where you're causing damage or paint rub to either of the figures, but he'll sit just snug enough to where he is on Thrawn's shoulders, and this looks fantastic. This is why I purchased this personally, and I know that's why a lot of collectors are probably purchasing this piece, was just for this little guy right here, and I'm so satisfied. It was totally worth it. I love how his legs sit. They rest on Thrawn's little shoulder pieces right here on both ends. I like how they just nicely rest on them. Whoever was sculpting this piece at Hasbro, I mean, A+. You did such an awesome job. It looks really good. My Thrawn is complete finally after what? 4 years, I think, is how long this figure has been out. Maybe 3 at the least. Thrawn's finally complete, and that's what I'm most satisfied about here. Now, this Luke is awesome. Having him next to the main antagonist, well, one of the main antagonists of this series, looks just fantastic. Side by side, they look great. And if you can find this piece, I very much encourage you to pick it up. And that's it, guys. So thank you so much for tuning into this review of the Heir to the Empire comic pack featuring Luke Skywalker and ysalamiri. This is an awesome 2-pack. Hasbro, please keep these coming. Please keep these comic packs coming. Please keep the Legends characters coming. 4 is not enough. You guys know it. We know it. And I hope you're excited. Guys, here pretty soon, we'll be doing one of the infamous videos we did on Order 66 Toys, the live show, where we once did these live interacting videos called the Black Series Wishlist. We'll probably be doing one of those here pretty soon on rebelscum.com. But before we get to that point, please let us know in the comments, what are some comic pack characters from Legends or Canon that you would love Hasbro to put in the Black Series comic pack box in the near future? Let us know. Please give us a like and please subscribe. Follow us on social media. And that's it for today, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. May the Force be with all of you, you Rebel Scum.